What's up, everybody? I'm Sydney Goodman, and in today's fix, details on a potential, probably not, Days Gone sequel, Switches might become harder to get your hands on, and issues surround the PS3 game store ahead of its closure. Roll the thing! Last week we learned about the Days Gone sequel that wasn't, and now it looks like we have more gory details. Jeff Ross, the former game director of Days Gone, has revealed even more info around that sequel pitch. While chatting with God of War creator David Jaffe in a live stream on Jaffe's YouTube channel, Ross elaborated on topics that arose after a recent Bloomberg report about an unsuccessful Days Gone 2 pitch from developer Ben's studio. Ross wasn't able to confirm if Days Gone 2 was actually rejected because of a non-disclosure agreement. If it turns out it is actually in development, can we call it Days Back? Let's get to the details he was able to reveal. Quote, "We wanted co-op from the beginning in Days Gone 1, but obviously you have to make concessions for what you're going to be able to do." Jaffe followed up by asking if a co-op mode would have been implemented in the sequel, to which Ross replied, quote, "It's one of the things that we had in our pitch, yeah. It was the idea of a shared universe with co-op play." Ross explained the vision for co-op as, quote, "taking this world that you've built and all these assets and systems and repurpose them for some sort of similarly themed multiplayer version of this universe." So it would be with guys like Deacon trying to survive building up a clubhouse or a crew. Honestly, I can't help but assume the game was ultimately rejected, given how much Ross just shared about what would theoretically be an unannounced project. But Ross continued to reinforce that he can't confirm the game's situation or status, so who knows? Ross himself no longer works at Ben's studio, but notes that his departure, quote, "had nothing to do with the status of the sequel or anything else that the studio was doing." How do you feel about a Days Gone 2 co-op mode in shared universe? Let me know. We've got a grave warning from Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa, at least if you don't own a Switch yet and are thinking you might want to soon. As reported by VGC, Furukawa was speaking to Nikkei about the ongoing global semiconductor shortage that's been causing supply issues for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and graphics cards, to name a few. The good news is Furukawa says that Nintendo has, quote, "been able to secure the necessary materials for the immediate production of semiconductors for Switches." However, in Japan and other countries, demand has been very strong since the beginning of the year, and there is a possibility of shortages at some retailers in the future. Ultimately, Furukawa left us with this, quote, "It is difficult to say how we will deal with this, but in some cases we may not be able to prepare enough for orders." I can't say this is unexpected. Nintendo has been dealing with Switch shortages for a while now, especially with the growing demand that came from the COVID-19 pandemic. And if you haven't heard, the PlayStation 3 store is closing soon, and now players are reporting that some PlayStation 3 games aren't downloading essential patches ahead of the closure. A PSN Profiles thread is compiling all of the PS3 titles that are experiencing difficulties downloading patches, and the list includes Journey, Little Big Planet, Castlevania, Lords of Shadow, Battlefield 4, Gran Turismo 5, and LEGO Star Wars: The Complete Saga. There's also a growing thread on Reset Era that's corroborating the list, with some users confirming that their own games aren't getting updates. The hope is that this is just a bug rather than being directly related to the upcoming closure. Who knows, maybe Sony is in the process of fixing it so that users can get their games ready to go before the digital store shuts down in July. One can only hope. Seriously, Sony, get on that. And that was Daily Fix. I'm Sydney Goodman, and I hope your day is as awesome as you are. Now that you're all caught up on the news, check out our first preview of Age of Empires 4. Download the IGN app on all your mobile devices. Subscribe to Daily Fix on Snapchat, and for all things everything else, IGN.com.
Gotta ask you something. What does it matter if everyone else is dead?